You know, there's very few things that are guaranteed in life, but unfortunately one of those guarantees is that something in your life that you're going to have high hopes for is going to let you down. And the key to dealing with that letdown isn't getting upset, but in trying to find a way to make the best of it. Welcome back to the GymCrafter YouTube channel, everybody. My name's Tim. I am the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com, the website that I build to help ordinary folks like you and I build home and garage gyms that we absolutely love. And today I am bringing you the long-awaited review of the Silverback dumbbells by Fringe Sport. And for this particular video, I'm going to be doing a little bit more than just a review. So I want to let you guys know that down below in the description, there are some chapter markers so you can jump straight to the section that you're interested in. I'm going to have 4 basic sections in this video. First of all, I am going to give you the review of these. If you want the very, very short version, they're not very good.
I am deeply disappointed.
After the review, I'm going to give you guys a fix. I know a lot of you guys out there have bought these and there's a common aesthetic problem with them that doesn't seem to have a really good solution, but after hours of research and elbow grease, I've actually found a really good way to deal with that. So I'll have that for you. Third, I'm going to let you know how Fringe Sport responded to the fact that these weren't exactly what I was hoping for and really let me down in quite a few ways. With today's climate of companies suing reviewers, it was refreshing to deal with a company like Fringe Sport. So I'm gonna let you know what they did, and then I'm also going to let you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, the silver lining or the silver back lining, that down the road, hopefully, everything I'm gonna talk about in this review will not matter because they're coming out with a new set, and I'm gonna let you know all about those at the end of the video. So with that said, let's jump into the video, and I wanna start with why I bought a full set of dumbbells. For most garage gyms, a full set of dumbbells is not going to be the right choice. Number one, they're very expensive, and number two, they take up a ton of space.
Yikes.
However, when you look at fixed dumbbells, one of the reasons why many of the reasons why I have always wanted a set is that number one, I just like using just the footprint or the ergonomics of a standard set of dumbbells. I just enjoy using that. That's one of the few things I miss about working out in a commercial gym is just standard everyday normal dumbbells and not using adjustables. And just kind of as backup for that, if you think about all of the adjustments that have been made in adjustable dumbbells, and there have been a lot, one of the key things that they seem to try and do on every iteration is trying to make them more and more the form factor of your traditional dumbbells. And that should tell you quite a bit about the ergonomics and just the comfortability of use of a standard set of dumbbells. So I really like that. Number two, if you've got more than one person in your house, sometimes that adjustable set of dumbbells isn't gonna work for you because you both need to use them at the same time, and that's impossible with a single set of adjustables. So having a full set is really nice for me here in the gym where I train people. I oftentimes have more than one person using dumbbells at the same time, including myself. So having a full set was really nice for that. And then lastly, as a YouTube studio and a gym, they just look kind of cool. So I love the rack that I got from Synergy Custom Fitness. I lit it up with nice green lights. I like the way that these look. That's one of the things I do like about them is they look pretty slick. So for those reasons, I decided to pony up the dough and buy a set of Silverbacks. And the first thing I'll tell you is yes, I bought these. I paid actually more than you can pay for these. So when I bought these, Fringe Sport offered me 10% off as an affiliate, which was great. The very next day, they went on sale to customers at 15% off. So I did get the price adjustment, but just let you know, I paid for these, which you can pay for these. So no special treatment here or anything like that. I bought these because I genuinely wanted them, and I bought them in a month where I also bought the Dane 2, and I also bought a full set of Savage bumper plates. So hopefully that amount of money, and by the way, I bought all of those things for the same prices that you could buy them for. Again, no special deals here for me. And I did that because I like Fringe Sport. I like these products. I think they do a great job at some things.
Here, you want my money? You take it.
Everything can't be a winner, as we're going to talk about with these Silverbacks, but I did buy all this stuff in one time because, hey, I like the Dane, I like the Savage bumper plates, and I was really hoping to like the Silverbacks. Now, why was I looking forward to getting the Silverbacks? So 2 home gym cons ago, Fringe Sport showed the set of 5 to 50 pound Silverbacks, and I saw them there at the show and I fell in love right away. So these are an all rubber coated dumbbell. Here in Illinois, my garage gets really cold in the winter time. So as cool as it would be to have a fully knurled metal handled set of dumbbells, if I want to train in the winter time, the more rubber coated stuff that is a touch point for me, the better off I am. So number one off the bat, I really like the idea of having a fully rubber coated dumbbell. Number two, the Knurl that they had at the show show was really, really nice. So while it was rubber, the grip on them was absolutely fantastic. I really liked them, and I liked the way that they felt, and I kind of fell in love with them. Now, the one issue they had at that show was they only had a 5 to 50 pound set. So what I decided was that when they finally came out with a full set, that these were going to be the dumbbells for me. And really the nail in the coffin, if you follow me at all, you know that I'm a sucker for the way things look. My logo is a monkey, my color's green. There's green monkeys on the side of here. So as superficial as that is, did that make a difference? Yes. If there had been like orange bears on the side, I probably wouldn't have these. So make fun of me if you want in the comments. But in addition to being the type of dumbbell that I wanted from a company that I really like and respected, they looked really cool too. So that put them on my list of things to buy, and I saved up and I saved up and I kept putting money away. And then one day I looked online and they had released the entire set. So at that point I pulled the trigger, bought the entire set of 5 to 100 pound silverbacks, and waited anxiously for them to show up. And so the day came where they showed up. They showed up boxed up in 3 nice big wooden crates. Now one of the crates kind of fell apart, which will come into play later, but for the most part, really well packaged, really well done. The shipping was great, delivered them right to my garage door. Really good start to the experience until I started opening them up. Now I knew going in that there were going to be some cosmetic issues. Some people had already reported online that there was some white stuff that you would find on the dumbbells. I had seen pictures of it, but I'd also read a bunch of accounts that, hey, if you use this simple green cleaner, that it'll clean right off, no big deal. And I figured, hey, you know, if they're rubber, they're from a factory, I'm probably going to have to clean them off anyway. So to me, it wasn't going to be that big of a deal. So I kind of expected that. But as I pulled out the dumbbells, one after the other, I got more angry and more upset and more angry and more upset the more I pulled them out of the crate. And by the time I had unboxed the entire set, I don't think I've ever been as disappointed in a garage gym purchase as I was at that particular moment. Here's a product that I spent, I think like $3,000 on, or right around there, that I'd waited probably a year to a year and a half to buy, that I was super excited for, that I bought a rather expensive custom stand to put them on. I was really excited to get these, and when I pulled them out, man, I was super disappointed. So let me go through and tell you what the issues are with these dumbbells, and why, if you've watched the podcast recently or you've watched some of the videos that I made where I've talked about these, I've come right out and said that I don't recommend buying them. So first of all was the white stuff on the rubber. It's called blooming. After some research, I've realized that anything that's real rubber does that over time. You'll see that on the side of car tires sometimes as well. Rubber bloom on car tires is typically like a brownish color. So if you've ever seen like brown stains on the outside of a car tire, that's what this is. And so that was the first thing, but it wasn't just a little bit here and there. It was really awful. It literally looked like my set of dumbbells had been pulled out of the bottom of a pile in a junkyard and just were they still look pretty bad because I haven't cleaned all of them. That was really disappointing because I'm like, wow, these look a whole lot worse than I thought they would. The second issue that came up that I was disappointed in was one of the reasons why you get rubber coated dumbbells is here in Illinois, we do get some humid weather in the summer and things do tend to rust. So getting just regular old iron dumbbells or like a bare naked power bar or something like that, things around here tend to rust. So having them rubber coated is supposed to prevent that. Well, that's if the rubber coats the entire dumbbell, and what you'll see on some of the B-roll and the pictures I put up over the video is that there are large sections on some of these dumbbells where the rubber is so thin that the metal actually shows right through, and like my 100-pound dumbbells already have large spots of rust on them right out of the crate from the manufacturer. So as I'm pulling them out again, I'm seeing these rust spots, not on all of them, but on some of them. And the other issue is where that rubber is worn through. On a lot of other dumbbells where it hasn't worn through, it's still so thin that the rubber is kind of discolored there. So it's not a nice, smooth, all black finish. So that was the second thing that I noticed. The third thing that I noticed is as I'm pulling them out, some of them have the knurl that I saw at Home Gym Con. Really nicely done knurl, really good grip. Now, all of them have good grip because it's rubber. That's one of the nice things about the rubber, and it is virgin rubber. They didn't smell bad or anything like that. So it's a higher quality rubber. As far as the grip goes, the knurl was great on some, but on others, there's entire sections of the knurl missing, or it's shoddily applied, or some of the handle's a little smooth and some of it has knurl. So as I'm pulling them out again, not only the issues with the rust and the white stuff, but now also the knurl isn't exactly what I'm looking for. Once I got them on the shelf, I started to notice some other problems.
But wait!
First of all, as I lined them all up neatly on the shelf and figured out where they were gonna go, all of a sudden I noticed that 2 of the dumbbells, the numbers are printed upside down. So I have this nice row of numbers that look great, and then you get to 1 pair of dumbbells and the numbers are upside down, so they don't match and they're upside down on both sides. So it wasn't a matter of turning them a different way. It's just that they were made it's such a huge miss from a quality control standpoint that of course, all the numbers should go the same way in the dumbbells. It was weird to have this miss. And not only was one of the numbers upside down, but when I looked closely, what I found was that different dumbbells had different fonts for the numbers. And I'm not talking a font that was close. I'm talking about drastically different fonts. If you didn't see this plate on the front, you wouldn't have known that they were from the same company. So when you add all that stuff together, I was pretty disappointed. Now, most of those things are aesthetic issues, so they don't affect how the dumbbells work. I have been using them since day one. I love having a full set of dumbbells. I'm not upset with these dumbbells because of how they work. The 35-pound dumbbells that I've got here weigh 35 pounds. The tolerances are good. I weighed a bunch of them out. The weights are right. So from a functionality standpoint, I've enjoyed using them. The problem is that every time I grab them, I have to look at them, and it's the looking at them thing that's a problem. The rust thing is definitely an issue for me, and it's something that can't be cleaned off, so I'm not sure what I want to do about that. But overall, most of the issues are aesthetic. Even the Knurl, as I mentioned, the ones that I use that have a little bit of a problem with the Knurl, once I grab them, I don't feel a difference. So it's not that big of a deal. It's just more, like I said, an aesthetic thing. And when you spend as much as I spent on these, you expect them to look a whole lot nicer than they do. Now, as far as the aesthetic issues go, the biggest one is the white rubber bloom. So I want to show you what I did to address this because, surprise, surprise, the people online were wrong.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Simple Green does not work, but let me show you what does. So for those of you who have either bumper plates in your garage who are having an issue, or you have these SilverBacks, or maybe you have a different set of rubber dumbbells, when you've got some rubber bloom, let me show you what I found. It was like the 70-second thing that I tried, but I did find something that works. I did find something that works relatively well. So let me show that to you in case you have the same issue, and I'll show you how well it works. Now, while I was kind of exaggerating when I said I trusted 70 some odd different products, let me show what I did try. So first of all, I tried the Simple Green. This did not work at all. I scrubbed the heck out of things. I tried it diluted. I tried it straight. This did not work. After 2 hours, this is what I could get these first 8 dumbbells to look like. They still look terrible, but they look a lot better. Although that one just didn't clean up at all. I tried olive oil. As weird as that sounds, a lot of the rubber boot sites said to use olive oil, that would fix it. Olive oil did not work. Neither did apple cider vinegar. So that was another thing that people said. I was also told to use vinegar, so I tried some vinegar-based Windex. They make some that's supposed to be a degreaser. None of these things worked at all, like literally at all. Since I had it, I tried Windex. Windex definitely didn't work. I also used a degreaser. This is what I cleaned my kitchen with. Somebody online said, oh, it's more grease-based, so you try that. Yeah, that didn't work either. Then I went to the auto store and I said, hey, I've got this Bloom on stuff. They go, oh, you just need some tire cleaner. So we tried the tire cleaner, and that didn't work. Neither did the special brush that they sold me. They told me I should be using a different kind of brush. That didn't work either. And then while I was there, I also tried this Armor All, which is supposed to make the rubber on your dash more black. And while this did work, at first it had 2 problems. Number 1, the next day all the white stuff was back, so it basically just covered up. And then number 2, what it covered it up with is this greasy, slick stuff that you don't want on your dumbbells because it makes it really hard to hold on to them. But after I tried all of that, and that took several days of trying, and as you can imagine, as mad as I was when I started, every single day when I tried something that didn't work, I got a little more angry. But finally what I did was I found this stuff. This is a product by a company called Mothers. It's called Back to Black. I just happened to be walking around the aisle, the auto care aisle in Walmart, I believe, and I saw this and I said, that's what I want to do. I want to bring these things back to black. So what I did was I got these, I got some auto detailing cloths, and I brought it home, and this actually works pretty darn well. It works pretty fast. Now there's still some scrubbing involved. However, once you get it on there and you kind of get it worked in and then you wipe it off, everything looks really nice. It doesn't leave a residue. And the dumbbells that I've cleaned with this so far, the white stuff hasn't come back. I know that's one of the issues with rubber bloom is sometimes when you clean it off, it comes back. And so far I haven't had that issue. So for those of you out there with that issue, use the Mother's Back to Black. This works really well. I'm going to put a link down below where you can get this on Amazon if you want to order some. But this worked pretty well. And to show you how well it worked, I've got these two 35-pound dumbbells here. You can see right on the camera, they're both equally gross. Let me go ahead and clean one of them up so I can show you at least the improvement that I got by using something like this. So there you go, between 5 and 10 minutes per dumbbell to clean them off, and you can see the drastic difference between the one that I cleaned and the one that I didn't. Now, it does take quite a bit of elbow grease. It doesn't just wipe right off, but it does come off and this dumbbell will stay looking like this. So if they had all come out of the box looking like this, I would have been very, very happy. I wouldn't have been happy with the other aesthetic issues. I wouldn't have been happy with the rust, but I would not have been as upset or mad as I was when they came out of the box all looking like this. I'm also not super thrilled that when you take 5 to 10 minutes per dumbbell, depending on how much is kind of in and around these raised letters here, across 40 dumbbells, that's 5-6 hours of my life cleaning dumbbells. And I gotta be honest with you, that's not how I want to spend 5 to 6 hours of my life. But I did get them cleaned up. I also called Fringe Sport, and this is one of the reasons, guys, why I always recommend dealing with major companies. I get a lot of requests, comments, emails, and things like that to try out these weird off-the-wall companies that nobody's ever heard of before, and I typically pass on those for reasons like this. If these had come from one of those companies, I would not have had any solutions offered to me whatsoever. So when I called, one of the great things about Fringe Sport is that their customer service department knows to offer you solutions, not just to go, I don't know what to do. Now, they did say I don't know what to do about the rubber bloom, right? Like, to me, Fringe Sport, you should have known this product right off the bat. You should have already tried all of them and found the one that works. But that being set aside, they did offer me two solutions. They offered to take them back. So what I should have done is send them back. To be very honest, what I should have done is boxed them all back up and sent them back. At the time that I was dealing with it, I was so upset and I just so didn't want to, I just wanted to put this behind me. The thought of boxing each of these things back up in a box, packing them all back up into crates, one of which was broken and I would have had to have repair, waiting for a pickup, to me, it wasn't something I wanted to do. I just wanted to hide these in a corner and not think about them for a while. So I didn't have them taken back, and I should have. But kudos to Fringe, that was one of the offers that they gave. They said, hey, you're not happy with something that we sent you. They were very apologetic up front. They were the first people to admit. The person who I contact for my affiliate relationship with them, the customer service department, Pete Keller, the owner, have all said, that's not the products we want to have in customers' homes. We'll be happy to take them back. We're sorry. So I was really happy with that. The other thing they offered me was a price adjustment to keep them. So the way that I looked at it is that the price adjustment they gave me, which was significant, it wasn't like half off or anything, but it was significant. It was enough to make it worth keeping the dumbbells and just spending the time to clean them up. Because like I said, as you can see here, they look pretty good once they're cleaned up. I do like the green monkeys. I do like using them. I can deal with the Knurl. The rust is an issue, and I think I'm probably going to try and maybe see if I can't have them replace the rusty ones at some point. But I was happy with the solution. So I did want to make sure and point that out, that they did a nice job. And Pete knew I was going to make this review too. And he said, I'm not going to sue you. Actually, the first thing he said was, I'm going to sue you. But after that, we talked, and he's not going to sue me. And why I'm bringing that up is when you look at companies who make a bad product, and in my opinion, this guy right here, as it sits, is a bad product. This isn't something that you should ship to a customer's home. And then you get a bad review on a YouTube channel like this. If you've been following the channel at all, you know that I just did a big video on Gluck being sued by Vulcan Strength. And if you haven't watched that video, go check it out. Basically, if you're not familiar with the situation, Gluck got a rack from Vulcan Strength. It was a bad rack. He did a bad review. And instead of fixing the issues or offering solutions, Vulcan sued him. Here is the opposite. Not only did their customer service department offer to fix it in a couple of different ways, but they're totally cool with me putting out this bad review. They didn't ask me not to post the review. Not once has customer service or my contact there or Pete said, hey, don't show this to people. If you look on the Fringe Sport website, there are a couple of other customer reviews which point this out and say, hey, there's some significant aesthetic issues and blemishes on these. So they're not trying to hide that. And that's really the mark of a good company. And going one step further, if you look on their website, these are now discontinued discontinued. So what Pete Keller, the owner, has done is he has said, hey, we don't want to put our name on this. We don't want this in customers' homes. So what he's done is he's put the current existing sets that he has on clearance. He's left the bad reviews on the site. He's discounted the products to get them out of the warehouse. And he has put right as the first descriptive item in the description that these have cosmetic blemishes. Now, for me, I would like to see that item descriptor a little bit more strongly worded than it is, but it does tell the customer that there's cosmetic blemishes, and in those customer reviews there's pictures that show you what this looks like. And then what he's done is he's sourced a new manufacturing facility. They're having these made on like a V2 in a different factory to better specs and to hopefully not have any of these issues. So what I can say to you is, while I wouldn't have recommended buying these or really buying the existing stock unless you're okay with all of the issues I showed you, you're probably just fine buying the new set that they have made in the new factory, because they are not going to let this happen again. This costs them a lot of money to deal with this, and they don't need the bad PR, they don't need the bad publicity, and I have half a mind to try and buy a couple of the new ones just to do a follow-up to make sure that they did address it. But again, knowing Fringe Sport, knowing Pete Keller, the owner, I'm sure that they're going to. And that, my friends, is the silver lining. When you have an issue with the product you make, look, every company is going to make a stinker.
Hey, you stink.
Every company is going to make something. Rogue makes some bad products. Rep makes some bad products. Titan makes more than a few bad products. Bells of Steel makes some stinker products, right? But all of those companies have one thing in common, like Fringe Sport. They take those bad products and they learn from them. They take their bad reviews and they learn from them. They don't just jump and sue the reviewer. They don't try and just pass it off and hide it. They don't delete bad reviews from their websites. They do what a good company should. And when you're looking at who you should buy home gym equipment from, well, like I said, I don't know that I would recommend buying the SilverBacks. I do recommend buying other stuff from Fringe Sport. The Dane 2.0 I love. You guys have seen a ton of content from me on that. You know that I love my Savage bumper plates. These are the best bumper plates that you can buy, hands down. And I still recommend them, and I still recommend the company because Fringe Sport's a solid way to go. So there you have it, guys. The long-awaited review on the Silverback dumbbells. If anybody's in the Chicago area and you want to come clean dumbbells for me, I have all the stuff. But hopefully sometime by the end of 2026, they'll all be cleaned up. I won't be mad anymore, and I'll still be enjoying my Silverback dumbbells. I owe you guys a review on the Synergy stand. This stand is another silver lining. I never would have been exposed to that company had I not bought these dumbbells, and I'm really glad that I got to meet that company, meet the owners, and buy one of their products, because it's pretty awesome. You'll see when I do the review. So that's all I've got for now. If you haven't liked, subscribed, all that kind of fun stuff, make sure you do that. And until the next review or whatever I happen to put out here on GymCrafter, I'm Tim from GymCrafter.